Right now, as you're packing for your Thanksgiving road trip, we have the latest updates on a storm that starts moving through tomorrow night.
And a shootout on Madison's east side last night had a mother fearing for her 3-year-old's life.
Plus, a federal grant aims to help almost 200 Wisconsin residents with disabilities find affordable housing.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It is time to start thinking about your Thanksgiving travel plans if you haven't already. More than 1 million Wisconsinites are taking a trip, and the majority are driving to their destinations.
Plus, storm systems before and after the holiday could make your drive a little tougher. We have team coverage tonight. Gabriella Becerra live near the Beltline with advice for travelers.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Cannoli tells us whether you should expect snow or rain this Thanksgiving.
Well, at least here in Madison, we'll see mainly rain and some strong winds. Might even see a thunderstorm or two. The best chances for snow will be north and west of Wisconsin Dells. But if you are traveling toward the Twin Cities, Wausau, Rhinelander, even up towards Superior, winter storm warnings are in effect from tomorrow night into Wednesday for heavy snow. There are winter weather advisories just to the south of that. Right now, we're thinking a band of 6 or more inches of snow through the Twin Cities, Eau Claire, and up into the UP of Michigan with lesser amounts. Actually, a pretty sharp cutoff on the southern end of that. So areas south of Wisconsin Dells may not see any snow at all. That's what we're thinking, at least across southern Wisconsin. There could be a mix of rain and snow before it comes to an end on Wednesday morning. Temperatures right now are in the upper 30s to the middle 40s. It's been a mild day, and look for just quiet conditions overnight. Skies will turn cloudy. Low temperature will drop to around 30. Tomorrow, look for a high of 45, but rain will develop later in the afternoon and then continue into tomorrow night when the winds will pick up as well. Now, Gabriella Becerra is on the Beltline telling us when we can expect the worst times for travel on the highways and in the air.
Gary, Wednesday will be the busiest day for both flyers and drivers. And with the possibility of snowy weather conditions, travelers should prepare for hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Most people want to get their holiday started as early as possible, so.
Master Trooper James Kismel says there are already extra cars on the road, and that number will continue to rise through the holiday. Over at the airport, they're seeing the same.
We do anticipate increased traffic today, tomorrow, and definitely Wednesday.
With the current forecast, the Dane County Regional Airport doesn't expect the weather to impact travel badly.
We're monitoring it. You know, right now it doesn't look too impactful to Madison, but that can shift in a moment's notice.
But that might not be the case on the roads.
It's something that could affect their travels. It could slow them down. They may come upon parts of highways that aren't necessarily impassable, but might be a whole lot more difficult to travel on.
If you get stuck, troopers recommend staying in your car until help arrives.
That's going to offer them some safety, safety from traffic. It's also going to offer them safety from any of the conditions that may exist.
Allow extra time to get to your destination. Peak travel can make your trip almost 4 times as long.
You feeling sleepy?
And if you're tired from too much turkey?
Best thing to do is to get to an exit as soon as you can and take a rest, you know, don't push it, okay?
Spend a little extra time with the family before getting back on the road. While packing your car, don't forgo any essentials for extra space. Make sure you keep a spare tire and a winter safety kit in your car, and make sure you know alternative routes just in case weather conditions or accidents block you from traveling.
Be prepared. Gabriella Becerra reporting tonight. Gabby, thank you. A reminder, you can download our First Alert Weather and Traffic app so you know what to expect before hitting the roads for Thanksgiving. It's available for free in your app store.
Multiple departments are investigating human remains found in a wooded area in Adams County. According to the Department of Justice, a hunter came across the remains late Saturday afternoon. The investigation is ongoing. Developing tonight, Madison police have arrested 3 men in connection to an August shooting on the Beltline. 24-year-old Sorrell Gilmore, 20-year-old Taiwan Reynolds, and 22-year-old Terrence Moore III were all arrested on suspicion of first-degree recklessly endangering safety. Reynolds also faces charges of possession with intent to deliver cocaine. On August 16th, police received multiple reports of someone inside an SUV firing at a white Chevy Malibu on the Beltline during the morning rush. Police believe the 3 men arrested were in a Dodge Durango, and the shooter was firing shots from its sunroof.
Police are still looking for the people who got in a shootout last night on Madison's east side, leaving behind 3 dozen shell casings around an apartment complex.
Amy Reed joins us there live now to explain what we know so far. Amy?
Even though no one is in custody, police have quite a bit of evidence to go off of. There are bullet holes in the side of these apartments off Cottage Grove Road, and they found 36 shell casings on the ground. Now, police said last night, just before 9 o'clock, two groups started shooting at each other. No injuries have been reported. Their bullets hit these apartments on the 4500 block of Cottage Grove Road, just a couple blocks east of Stoughton Road. Bullets also hit cars, blowing out some windows. Maintenance here was out this morning checking the damage to the buildings. One of the spots where a bullet hit was right outside of a 3-year-old's room. We spoke with her mom, and she told us about the nerve-wracking moments when she heard the shots.
I just fell to the floor and crawled to my baby room, and I pulled her out the bed, and I just got over her, and then we just went into the bathroom.
She said they hung out there for about 10 minutes while this quieted down. Now she doesn't know what she'll do, but she wants to move. She's hoping police can figure out who did this. Many of these apartments have kids in them, and she said that these innocent lives should be spared from incidents like these. If you have any information that might help police find the people who are responsible, call Madison Area Crime Stoppers. That information's on our website.
Wisconsin law enforcement shot and killed 16 people this year, 3 more than last year. That's according to data collected by the Wisconsin Professional Police Association. 11 of those killed were white, 3 were black, and 2 were Hispanic. Of the 28 fatal and non-fatal shootings so far this year, 26 involved an armed suspect. Wisconsin is one of 34 states that do not require officers to train in de-escalation tactics. New at 6, the Dane County Sheriff's Office is looking for information about a missing man. 44-year-old Christopher Arndt of Albion was last seen at his home on Hagen Road last night around 9 o'clock. Anyone with information is asked to call the Dane County Communications Center.
Every member of a group of Wisconsin Army National Guard soldiers is returning safely to the United States after a year-long deployment in Afghanistan. The 400 Red Arrow soldiers from the 2nd Battalion, 127th Infantry, were sent off last November during a ceremony at Lambeau Field. They conducted Guardian Angel missions, providing protection to U.S. advisors, contractors, and Afghan troops. The first wave of approximately 190 soldiers returned November 17th. The remaining 200 landed in Texas Saturday. There will be a homecoming ceremony here in Wisconsin, but the date has not yet been announced. 4 people are recovering after being shot during the opening weekend of Wisconsin's gun deer hunt. DNR officials say 2 hunters shot themselves in the foot in separate occasions in Oneida and Marathon counties. A 19-year-old woman was shot in the hand by a hunter in Fond du Lac County who was shooting at a running deer, and the 4th shooting was in Washburn County.
New video now of a bright fireball believed to be a meteor flashing across the night sky. A Milwaukee public transit bus caught it on camera around 5:45 Saturday evening. It was visible from at least 4 areas of the city. UW-Madison Space Science and Engineering Center also caught the meteor on video flying over Lake Mendota.
Affordable housing is something that many people struggle to find here in Dane County.
But a $1.2 million reward is aimed at changing that. Jamie Perez explains what this money is being used for. Jamie?
This money is specifically geared toward providing affordable housing to 180 non-elderly people with disabilities. Now, while that's a very specific group of people, they're saying that this will have a ripple effect to help thousands of others who are also in need of a safe place to live.
Since 2017, rents in Dane County have increased almost 25% alone, and no one can keep up with that.
If you've never experienced it for yourself, most everyone here knows someone who has dealt with the high cost of rent.
We have an affordable housing crisis, and we need to be working on all fronts to make sure that we are making a dent in that crisis and providing housing to folks that need it at all levels of income and ability.
The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced at a press conference today that nearly $1.2 million was awarded to the state of Wisconsin to provide affordable housing to 180 people with disabilities.
Madison and Dane County are experiencing a housing crisis, and there are many solutions. This is one of them.
People who are already enrolled in housing service programs will receive these vouchers, and the thousands of people who are on wait lists to get help will be that much closer to getting the help they need.
As people move from permanent supportive housing, this means that we can then move others into that permanent supportive housing.
While this isn't a fix-all solution, they're hoping it can at least help in making sure everyone has a safe place to call home.
This influx of resources in our community is really appreciated. It helps us to make a difference, and we will absolutely be putting it to good use.
Those 180 vouchers will be divided amongst several housing services here in Wisconsin, so they're hoping that this will have a ripple effect in preventing homelessness in the future.
All right, good program.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
Next at 6, a heartwarming donation in memory of a former Town of Madison sergeant, what the holiday effort supporting children in need meant to her.
And there is more local news ahead. The number of attempted suicides in the Dane County Jail have increased over the past 2 years. We're asking what can be done tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
It's the
Sugary and fried foods might taste good in the moment, but new research is showing more nutrient-dense foods can lead to better moods long-term. In a story you'll only see on News 3 Now, our Keely Arthur takes a closer look at the link between diet and our mental health.
We modify our diets to lose weight, regulate blood sugar, and lower cholesterol. But what if what you ate affected your mood? While research is fairly new, the connection between the two is clear. Just as what we eat affects our physical health, it also has an impact on our mental health. Several studies show certain nutrients can improve symptoms of depression. There are tangible things people can do within their own diets to see the benefits to their mental health. Dietitians at Unity Point Health Meriter recommend trying a Mediterranean-style diet rich in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and fish.
Those people who eat more of a plant-based diet have lower rates of depressive symptoms than those people who are eating a more processed or Western diet.
While diet cannot replace counseling or medication, the key to a little bit more happiness might be right on your plate. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, we will take a closer look at what foods you should eat or avoid to improve your mental health.
More local news now. The family of Town of Madison Police Sergeant Jess Fisher is honoring her memory by giving back to her favorite program. Sergeant Fisher was a committed member of Shop with a Cop. She died by suicide in August of 2018. Her father and brother, who own Mick Fisher Trophy and Engraving in Beaver Dam, made personalized coffee tumblers to raise money for Shop with a Cop.
She loved doing Shop with a Cop. That's all I heard about from maybe July on was, Mom, we got to get this going. We got to get Shop with a Cop. How much you going to give me? So I'd always give her a little money toward Shop with a Cop.
Shop with a Cop is a non-profit organization that helps children from low-income families. Police officers take them shopping for gifts during the holiday season. The Fisher family donated a $2,000 check to the program today.
Coming up in sports, a disappointing night for the Packers after the 29-point loss to the 49ers. We'll hear how Aaron Rodgers plans to get things back on track.
And rain or snow could make Thanksgiving travel plans a bit messy. Gary has your details in your First Alert forecast next.
When looking
Governor Tony Evers has declared today Snowplow Driver Appreciation Day. A special proclamation says they provide a vital public service, making sure we can all get to work, shops, and recreational destinations throughout the winter. Tomorrow, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi is showing off new snowplow technology coming to the county's highway department. Parisi is including $2 million in his 2020 budget to purchase 4 tow plows and heavy-duty quad-axle trucks. The equipment will help clear the interstate and Beltline quicker.
We'll see the snowplows might be out in certainly northern Wisconsin ahead of the holiday, Gary.
Yeah, basically, if you're heading north and west of the Dells, you're going to be running into some snow. And once you start getting up toward Eau Claire and the Twin Cities, it could be heavy snow at times. Let's start out with the 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Around most of southern Wisconsin, rain will develop from late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. There could even be a couple of thunderstorms in there as well. But areas north of Wisconsin Dells will be cold enough to see that rain mixed with and eventually change to snow late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Right now, probably an inch or 2 of accumulation expected there. However, it'll be windy on Wednesday. When I mean windy, I mean we're seeing wind gusts to around 40 miles per hour over much of southern Wisconsin. Farther to the south across northern Illinois and eastern Iowa, there could be wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour, which could blow objects onto the road as well as make it very difficult for high-profile vehicles. So if you're traveling down to the south on Wednesday, you're going to be dealing with that, and that'll also affect air travel at O'Hare as well. And then as we head toward the weekend, another storm system will start out as rain but change to light snow on Sunday. I'm not looking for a major snow, maybe a couple of inches. but strong winds will be there, so there'll be some blowing snow. And of course, Sunday is a very busy travel day at the end of the holiday weekend. So alert days are in the forecast from tomorrow night into Wednesday morning for rain and some thunderstorms tomorrow night with snow north of the Dells, maybe a couple of inches there. And then the mix of rain and snow coming to an end, but then we see strong winds during the day on Wednesday. Future track shows the rain arriving late tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will drop off a couple of degrees tomorrow evening and then start rising overnight as the rain starts to lift toward the north. And then by the time we get cold enough for a changeover to snow, notice still in the low 40s early on Wednesday morning, by that time the temperatures are starting to drop into the 30s, but the bulk of the precipitation lifts to the north and east. But then it's the strong winds that we're going to be dealing with. Snowfall amounts across southern Wisconsin, maybe 1 to 2 or 3 inches north and west of the Dells, 3 to 6 inches closer toward La Crosse, and then a narrow band from southern Minnesota through the Twin Cities, Eau Claire, Wausau, and into parts of the UP of Michigan. They'll be looking at perhaps 6 inches to a foot of snow in some areas, especially the lake effect snow areas in the upper peninsula of Michigan. So winter storm warnings are in effect from Nebraska, actually going all the way back to Denver to northwestern Wisconsin. Then we have the high wind threat, high wind watch in effect for areas south of southern Wisconsin on Wednesday. Notice the peak wind gusts. These are 40 to 50 miles per hour for areas south of the state line, around 40 miles per hour over southern Wisconsin. Those winds start to die down late in the day on Wednesday. Then we also have the alert day for Sunday for that minor snow accumulation, but strong winds on a busy travel day. Future track, mainly rain, maybe a mix of rain and snow Saturday morning, changing to rain Saturday and then to snow Sunday. Some light snow accumulations before that winds down, and we could be looking at some travel issues there as well. Forecast for tonight, skies will be mostly cloudy, any lingering showers east of Madison, ending low temperature at 30. And then for tomorrow, look for a cloudy day. It'll be dry for much of the day, high of 45, but the rain will develop by mid to late afternoon. Rainfall amounts, perhaps a half inch to maybe close to an inch in a few spots. That'll be in a liquid form here, but the 7 to 10 day forecast, you'll see those temperatures drop off a little bit for the Thanksgiving holiday, the weekend storm, and then cold weather for much of next week.
The Badgers want to get Paul Bunyan's axe back in Wisconsin because not having it has been bugging them for almost a year. The story's coming up in sports.
News
When the Badger men's basketball team played Eastern Illinois a couple of weeks ago, it was actually part of a tournament called the Roman Legends Classic. Tonight, part 2 of that tournament is the Badgers are playing Richmond at Barclays Center in Brooklyn right now. They started just after 6. It's early in the first half. Depending on who wins tonight, the Badgers will play another game in Brooklyn tomorrow at either 4 or 6:30 p.m. against either Auburn or New Mexico. The Wisconsin-Minnesota football game is a big deal Saturday in Minneapolis. ESPN Game Day will be there. Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will be the announcers on ABC. And oh yeah, it's a battle for Paul Bunyan's axe in the Big Ten West Championship. Last November, Badger quarterback Alex Hornibrook had a hard time telling the difference between a Badger uniform and a Gopher uniform. He threw 3 interceptions in the 37-15 Minnesota win. The first time in 14 years, Paul Bunyan's axe left Wisconsin's sideline. In the Badger locker room, there's a big blank case where the axe used to live. Players see it every day.
Kind of have that image in your head when you're going to lift or you're going to work out or get extra film study and do what you got to do. So it's always an image that's in our head when we're going throughout our day, and we're always thinking about it. And the week's finally here, and we finally get to prepare.
It's been grinding at us for, what is it, like 356 days. So yeah, it's been eating at me for a while. It's been eating at us for a while.
The Packers were pretty lousy last night, weren't they? The San Francisco 37, Green Bay 8. The Packers now 8-3. They're tied with the Vikings for first place in the NFC North with a showdown looming in Minneapolis December 23rd. Last night in Santa Clara, the Packers fell behind early and weren't really close to getting out of the hole. Jimmy Garoppolo efficiently carved up the defense. Aaron Rodgers threw for only 104 yards, was sacked 5 times. Not a good night, but Rodgers says better days are ahead.
I think we had a good week of practice, which is why it's so surprising in performance. But you got to give them credit. You know, they played really well, but I still like our chances. I think we have the makeup to bounce back from these kind of things and put ourselves in a position to potentially come back here and play again.
The Badger men's hockey team fell to 19th on the national rankings today. Wisconsin hosts Michigan this weekend, while the Badger women's hockey team still second in the country. They'll be part of a showcase weekend for women's hockey in Nashville coming up. 4 of the top 11 ranked teams in the country will be there. Wisconsin will play Harvard Friday, Boston College on Saturday. Mark Johnson says it'll be great for women's hockey.
They'll walk out of the building, you know, seeing one of the number of games that they get an opportunity to see, and it's like, wow, that's impressive. Now, they might have a young daughter, and all of a sudden they get her involved in hockey and give her a chance to experience the game. It might be an opportunity where they are going somewhere else and there's a women's hockey game and they want to go see it because of what they've seen in Nashville.
And wanted to show you this. At halftime of Saturday's Badger football game at Camp Randall, they honored Matt LePay and Mike Lucas for broadcasting Badger games on the radio all these years. LePay started announcing Badger football in 1994. That's 25 years. And Lucas has been covering Badger football for 50 years since he was a sophomore at UW, writing for the Badger Herald. Of course, he was a longtime host of Sidelines on this very station, too. Nice tribute to a couple of legends, Matt LePay and Mike Lucas. We're lucky to have them around as long as we have.
Yeah,
How
very,
awesome.
Very good guys, no doubt about it. Congrats to them. Gary, final check?
Well, things pretty quiet around here right now. Temperatures are in the upper 30s to the middle 40s, but snow will be mainly north of Wisconsin Dells from later tomorrow night into Wednesday. Most of us will see rain, maybe a mixture of rain and snow at the end. But if you're traveling to the north and west, Twin Cities, Eau Claire, Wausau, Rhinelander, back toward Omaha, Nebraska, winter storm warnings in effect for that area Tuesday into Wednesday.
Well, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.